Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys. And as always, I'll do my very best to get to your questions and see if we can't troubleshoot your problems here live. Well, thank you everyone for being here. It's great to have you guys with me on a Saturday night. We've got some news we're going to cover, market news, and a little bit of regulation related news as we check up on some of the legislation making its way through our Congress. So we'll talk about that. And I thought I would move some stable coins around for you guys because there is some news on stable coins a little bit in our market news and adoption news and regulatory news. So I thought that we'll go back to the roots and maybe move a little crypto around for you guys so you can see how it goes. Got some US dollar coin on Coinbase, so we'll move it back and forth into my wallet and see how that plays out. So once again, thanks for being here. Let me go ahead and just say hello to everybody. You know how that is. I just like doing that. I'm not an optimized guy. What can I say? We got some news. We'll cover the news, but let me say hello to everybody. It's just a normal thing I like to do. Roland Kane is here. Kenny is here. Mr. Miskey, Hans Hanna, Drew, Simona Moulin, Fred McIntyre, Gregory Whelan, Bobby is here. Paul is here. Christopher Tain from Melbourne, Amsterdam, Holland, Gunbroker 11. That's pretty cool. Drew ARU, You've Rex 251, who's laughing, crying. HR by Catherine, PC Prosperi, good to have you. Scott Rosenbaum, it looks like. Yeah, that's it. I used to have a computer client in LA. His name was I think it was Rosenberg. I don't know. He's a great guy. And his wife from France. I used to go over there and work on his Mac. He was a high-end guy. Had a whole bunch of expensive equipment, but he needed a little extra, tech support from me. That was before I was CryptoDad. Crawbillies. Dan the Man Westra is here. Thanks for being here, Dan. Good to have you. Calgapo is here. And I think that's it. Yeah. Recent reports indicate that in certain contexts, particularly within Hong Kong and related to national security or criminal investigations, authority can compel individuals to surrender passwords. Yeah, or you can just tell them you forgot, or you can go to jail. I don't know. You can probably get put in jail. That would probably get me to reveal my passwords. Yeah. Don't carry your ledger to China. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. PIN code. Yeah. Yeah, there's it's funny you brought that up, Dan, because there are ways to smuggle crypto. The easiest thing to do, I would say, is maybe carry a blank ledger with you and memorize your seed phrase. Or, locate one when you get to the other country. But of course, have your seed phrase written down safely, stored away in your home. Don't just decide you're going to, go commando and carry the seed phrase in your head with no backup anywhere. But you can leave the seed phrase at home and then, get over to Hong Kong and go into the Apple Store. I don't know if they have Apple Store, Ledger Store, Best Buy, wherever. And get your device, or just carry one that's brand new, and just they're gonna it's brand new, it doesn't have any crypto on there. Anyway, let's jump into let me just do some housekeeping quick. This is what we're dealing with tonight. That's the description. I did do a couple of videos this week. They didn't get much traction, but hey, what can I say? I did this video. I thought it was going to go viral. It was if you got scammed, and whether or not the IRS will allow you to count it as a deduction. And it's kind of interesting, It's weird how IRS deductions work when you get scammed. Because if you were involved in something that was profit related or investment related, you can count that loss as a deductible if you get scammed. So if you have a compromised account, impersonation scam, pig butchering, phishing email, hacked account. All those are deductible. But if it's a romance scam and they convince you to send them crypto, that's a personal thing. They consider that, I forget what the term is. Personal casualty loss, I think they call it, something like that, in the tax code. They won't, if someone, you get a relationship online and then you send them money when they tell you they need help for medical bills or whatever, and then they disappear, boom, that's that, you can't deduct that from your, that's non-deductible. And then the AI voice cloning kidnap scam, which was very interesting to me. Apparently that's a big enough thing that the IRS specifically cites it in this memo that I am talking about, that was released last year. People call and say, hey, I've got your grandson here and he's been kidnapped and you need to pay the ransom. And then the grandma or the grandpa gets on the phone and the grandson's voice is there, help me, help me. And apparently they scrape social media looking for, they target the individual, they scrape social media, find the videos of the grandson's voice, and then they use AI to generate real-time conversations. And if you empty out your cryptos to pay the ransom, that's non-deductible because that's a personal thing. I learned a lot when I was making that video. You might want to check it out. I think it was pretty good. Maybe the thumbnail's just not, perfect. There's so much that goes into YouTube metrics, right? And we're kind of ignoring them because you're supposed to jump right in and catch them. But we're just having fun talking tonight. I did this one earlier the week. Ledger has their spring sale going on. It's going on till the 7th. So you still got a week or so to get a Ledger device at with a huge Bitcoin rebate. So I don't think I've put those. Let me get some of these closed here. Oh, I think that was the, let me see here. I think that was the memo there. Yes, that's the Internal Revenue Office of Chief Counsel memo. I think I've got the web link to this in that video description. Yeah, if you go down here, yeah, I've got it. This is it. If you guys, well, you can't see it. You can see it on my screen, right? Let me just paste it in there. If anybody wants to check it out, pretty interesting. But yeah, we wanted to. Oh, and I lost what I had copied there. Yeah, so check out my Ledger landing page tonight, and there we go. It's the spring sale live, right? You can get $80 back in Bitcoin on a Stacks, 70 on a Flex, 40 on a Gen 5 Ledger Nano. This is an awesome deal right here. This Nano Gen 5 is, of course, as super secure as all the other devices they make, but they used plastic instead of aluminum and took off a few of the, aesthetic bells and whistles. And for $179, you can get a touchscreen Ledger device and get $40 worth of Bitcoin back. If you're on a budget, you can still get the Ledger Nano X. It's permanently $99 now. And with a $20 Bitcoin rebate, that's effectively $79. And of course, if you want the Ledger Nano S Plus just to get going, $59 with a $10 rebate, that makes it $49 effectively. Pretty good. Although I mean, personally, I don't recommend these 2-button models for beginners. They're very difficult to use. It's like trying to use a flip phone from the 80s or whatever. It's just not intuitive. You want to go with the touchscreens by all means. I see we still got Trezor Safe 7 link there if you want to get a Trezor Safe 7, the top of the line Trezor. Tangem is still running deals as they always are. Good for them. I need to get another video out on Tangem, but you can still click that link and get both of those checkout codes applied. It's going on till April 6th. Yeah, they might as well just take it out to December 6th. Why not? But yeah, you get both of these. That'll give you 20% off. And I believe you can buy 2 sets and still get $10 back on each set. So that's a possible total of $20 worth of Bitcoin back, right? Totally. And of course, some of the other stuff, I love you guys. The stuff I use, the stuff I recommend, the stamp seed, Caleb and Brown, and you can buy me a coffee if you want to. A couple of regulars have bought me coffee, and I really appreciate it. These are the news stories and ways to get a hold of me. Yeah, and so that's what's going on. Let's jump into the news, guys. Bitcoin dips under 66K as oil sparks unsustainable U.S. inflation risk. So the conflict over there in the Middle East is driving up oil prices, which is going to feed into inflation. I think we talked about this a little bit last week. There's more than just oil going through that normally goes through the Strait of Hormuz. Natural gas, LGN, I think they call it, liquid natural gas, and it's used to manufacture all kinds of things that we use, plastics, fertilizer. So we're looking at a big stress on the global economy because of the conflict going on over there. And that's going to only feed inflation. So, and they jawbone a little bit. Trump jawbones, hey, yeah, we've been having really good talks with them. They haven't been talking at all. So he said that, he's given them ultimatums, and then on Monday morning, he always comes up with some, I'm going to extend it for a couple of days because we're making progress, and, jawbones the stock market up on Monday morning, but then it always falls on Friday. And that affects the crypto market. Where were we? Yeah, crypto market. So we got BTC under pressure. We're at 66,600. It's funny though, because I've been dealing with I've set up an OpenClaw server. If you guys aren't familiar with OpenClaw, it's an amazing thing. It's an AI that you can set up on your home computer, and it does things. I mean, it's friggin' amazing. It can install software. It can, do reports. It can answer emails. It can do all that stuff. I haven't connected it to my email yet, but I am been playing around with it. And I was talking about maybe setting up a trading bot or testing out a trading bot. And it was going through the history of Bitcoin. And it was its conclusion, basically, and if I was doing a trading bot, it wouldn't be with Bitcoin anyway, but its conclusion about Bitcoin was Bitcoin, and I'm using Claude Sonnet as the main, I have an API key for Claude Sonnet, so it's pretty advanced and expensive, but it was saying, Bitcoin is long-term, it's just goes up over long term. So like trying to trade it is you're going to miss out on major moves. So the Bitcoin is just a long-term hold. I mean, going from like 2,700 in 2017, early 2017, I believe it was like around 2,700, and now it's 66,000. I mean, who can argue with those numbers? You're always going to get these people telling you, oh, Bitcoin is dead. And, and we heard so much Bitcoin bashing, but it's just an amazing asset when it comes to its market price, And it basically was saying there's no real reason to trade Bitcoin. Because just holding it is good enough, right? There's no reason to try to buy dips and sell peaks or whatever. Interesting take when it was. And another thing, it was funny because I downloaded all of my YouTube transcripts, which took a long time, and is still indexing them. But I have over 1,300 something total videos, and it went out and downloaded all the transcripts. And then we downloaded quite a few comments. And I was trying to maybe get a read on a trading bot using my library of comments that I have. And the OpenClaw's conclusion was your viewers are bullish because they're believers. So their sentiment doesn't really give you any advantage. It was funny. So congratulate yourself, guys, on being long-term holders and believers in Bitcoin and other crypto. Yeah, your sentiment cannot be used to train a trading bot because you're all so positive. True believers. Good to have you with me. Let's jump into the news here. Yeah, we were in the news, right? Bitcoin drops further on oil supply woes as Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz. BTC price performance is set to seal its sixth straight losses at the March close. Traders eye the lows with 70 grand back as resistance. Oil squeeze creates U.S. bond market havoc. The stock market went down on Friday too. So we're looking at really pretty much bad news all across the board. Trump better come up with something really good that he can tweet from his toilet on Monday morning to, jawbone the market higher because, yeah, it's getting worse. The longer the Strait of Hormuz stays closed, the worse it's going to get. I'm just being real. Let's move on. Let's go here. Spot Bitcoin ETFs break 4-week inflow streak as capital avoids directional risk. Spot Bitcoin ETFs see 296 million in weekly outflows. The reversal follows a sustained run of inflows totaling more than 2.2 billion across 4 consecutive weeks. Been a pretty good last couple of months or last month and a half. Including 787 million, 568 million, and 766 million in early March before slowing to 95.18 million in the prior week. And so this week, though, this last week, we've got that outflow. Macro call mass deeper risks. In a statement shared with Cointelegraph, Bituniks analyst said the current macro backdrop is defined by surface stability internal imbalance as geopolitical risks remain unresolved while policymakers attempt to maintain outward calm. Yeah. So, I mean, the entire stock market risk, there's a lot of risk aversion out there with geopolitical uncertainty. So, of course, that's going to spill over into the Bitcoin ETF space, right? Crypto, this is the big story I was talking about. Crypto stocks battered as NASDAQ enters correction in 17 trillion market rout. So they're talking about some of the crypto-related stocks that trade on the NASDAQ. Coin, which is Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Hood, and miners tumbled between 5 to 10% on Friday. The losses extend a wider market plunge with 17 trillion in value erased across Mag 7 stocks, precious metals, and Bitcoin from their respective records over the past month. Got hit hard on Friday. Coinbase, Galaxy, Gemini, Robinhood, crypto-friendly broker. MicroStrategy, we saw that one. Bitmine, SharpLink Gaming, miners, leverage bets on both Bitcoin and AI infrastructure. Riot, Hive. I think I own some Hive. It's never gotten back to where it was when I bought it. I bought it like in 2020, I guess, or somewhere in 2020 or 21 when things were good, and it's been in the red ever since. Every time the market's back up again, I check it, and it's like still not even close to what I bought it at. But miners are switching over to AI because, which seems odd because if you have a Bitcoin miner, I didn't know. I guess it can be converted to use for AI, but I thought AI was GPU based. Anywho, yeah, that's something. Just a little diversion there. So yeah, stocks are looking bad. Now let's jump into this. Regulatory front here, U.S. lawmakers push crypto tax proposal without Bitcoin tax exemption. So this hasn't hit any of the chambers yet for votes or anything like that. It's, what do they call this thing? Discussion draft bill. Boom, on Thursday, titled the Digital Asset Protection, Accountability, Regulation, Innovation, Taxation, and Yields Act, or Digital Assets Parity Act, to overhaul the tax code for digital assets. You know, there's probably one or two dudes, they like or guys or girls that sit in an office in the Capitol building somewhere that come up with these acronyms. You know, it's like, okay, this is what we want the bill to do. You need to come up with a spiffy acronym. You know, it's like, come on, man, just call it a bill. You know, why do you have to like name it with these stupid acronyms? But anyhow, I digress on that too. Digital Asset Parity Act seeks to overhaul Internal Revenue Code of 1986 by adding provisions that would clarify the tax treatment of digital assets. Now, it's strictly or generally or mostly going to apply to stablecoins, which is a no-brainer because when you trade a stablecoin for cash or you buy stablecoins with cash, there's really no gain or loss because stablecoins are pegged to the price of $1. So to have to pay out capital gains when you buy and sell stablecoins or swap stablecoins to another stablecoin is just ludicrous, really. But that's what they're trying to do. What they really need to do is set limits on Bitcoin purchases so that you can spend your Bitcoin without having to calculate capital gains, maybe under 200. And I believe that's what they've done here for stable coins, $200 threshold. And then, of course, some people are mad because they should have done it with Bitcoin, right? This is the wrong direction to go in. He said about the draft, it's Bitcoin that should have a de minimis tax exemption. That's what we're talking about. Exempting small transactions from capital gains and losses, right? So that people can spend Bitcoin freely. You know, stable coins are not decentralized and they are not permissionless. They're not real money. They're just fiat, he added. Basically they are, because you can't create stable coins out of thin air. And there's no proof of work or proof of stake. They're simply backed with real assets by whatever company, what's the term, you know, they issue them, right? That whatever company, if Circle issues more US dollar coin, they have to back it with dollars or treasuries or real assets or whatever. Same with Tether, right? So they're not even real crypto. So yeah, that's where we stood with that. But it's a step in the right direction, right? They're trying to update the tax codes to be a little more crypto friendly. So I'll give it an E for effort. And then they're also still working on the Clarity Act. It's not dead yet, but it will be if the Dems take over in November. That's for sure. So they better get it passed. They'll probably try to revoke it anyway, even if the Dems take over. Crypto lawyer Jake Cervinsky said legislation covering crypto developer protection has been overshadowed by the intense focus on stablecoin yield in the Clarity Act, right? U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis has dismissed claims that the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act fails to protect decentralized finance innovators from legal repercussions, rebutting that recent changes to the draft make it the strongest protection for DeFi and developers ever enacted. Her comments on Friday came in direct response to crypto lawyer Jake Cervinsky, who argued that Title III of the current draft undermines the Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act, another crypto bill focused on developer protections, right? By subjecting non-custodial software developers to know your customer obligations. Don't believe the FUD, Loomis said, adding, we have worked on a bipartisan basis for the last few weeks to make changes to Title III that make this bill the strongest protection for DeFi and developers ever enacted. We have to pass the Clarity Act to get these protections. Yeah, so it may be so stripped down and compromised by the time it actually becomes law that it's not going to do much to stimulate developer innovation here in the U.S. because most of the developers have gone overseas to avoid, U.S. regulations, right? And all this KYC stuff. So we'll see. But she's saying that it's got developer protections. That's the nub of the gist of this article. All right, so that's it. Let's check in with the chat window and see how everybody's doing tonight, what questions are being asked. Docport is here. Good to have you. Scalp or day trading has high failure rates across all assets, not only Bitcoin. Nice point. Very good point. Yes. If we drop to 40K, I'm selling everything I own and buying crypto. And crypto stocks. Yeah, Stan the man. That's where he goes. I go through at least 2 cycles and you'll see it doesn't matter for price for 98% of the time in Bitcoin. When in the bull market, you only have about 10 days of high to all-time type price, LOL. Yes, this is my savings of millennial blue collar just to give you an idea. It's only bad news if you're not prepared. That's right, Dan. When BTC hits 200K, you won't care if you bought it at 70 or 60. Very good. Yes. They make up an acronym so that they know how to make the law exact opposite of the name. Affordable Care Act. Yeah. Patriot Act. Yeah, I get it. That's right. Looks like Gensler is working from the shadows. 5 years ago, I put my faith into Bitcoin, working in a tiny hot kitchen and dumping all I could in, and Bitcoin definitely proved itself to me. I watched it go from 15 to 126. That's right. I'm late, but I made it. Kraken postponed their IPO until the markets go back up, apparently. Thank you for that, Lord. It's good to have you. Eat the FUD, it's future gains, LOL. Pretty cool to see a president talk good about Bitcoin. Never thought I'd see it. Right. All right, let's move some stablecoin. Let me see. What do we do here? Let me do some. I'm going to do one from my Tangem. I've got some stablecoin in my Tangem wallet. Oops, let's do this here. Oh, yeah. Let me turn this on. Let's see here. What are we doing? Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's say hello to my bot. Hello, bot. Say hello to... Oh, no, he's not bot. He's named Axiom. Whoops. Hello, Axiom. Say hello to my live stream audience. I'm sharing my phone screen with them. Let's see if he says anything. Ooh, look, he's typing. Oh, yeah, I did want to... Rex is running locally on his home machine. Pretty cool that he's got me set up and talking to him right now from his phone while he streams. Hope you're enjoying the show. Yeah, that reminds me also that I wanted to share with you. We talked a little bit about... well, yeah, I don't care if you know my Monero address. I've been mining Monero on this other rig over here. I got 3 rigs that are helping me. I got this rig we're working on right now. I've got a Monero rig over there, and I've got my Debian machine that's running my OpenClaw server over there. We're at 0.08779,676 Monero, and I will get a payout into my wallet when it hits zero point 0.1. So we got, according to the bot, it's like 88%. So we're getting close. I've been running the miner for almost a month. So it's doing its thing. One thing I wanted to share about this OpenClaw server is that, he can like see what's happening on the machine. He's like, oh, you got this hard drive, you got that thing, you got this graphics card. Let me check the config. I mean, he can do anything. And then I told him, hey, let me get back here. I told him, I said, I've got a 30, I have a 3090 NVIDIA card in my wife's rig. Which I put in there, and it was just way overkill for her. And then I realized that, hey, I could use that in this Debian rig over here. And so I bought a new card for her, like a 5050, which is more than enough for what she does. Because she inherited one of my rigs anyhow. It's a long story. But I told the OpenClaw bot, hey, yeah, I'm going to buy a new graphics card for my wife, and then I'm going to pull my 3090 out. And he was like, oh, that's great. You got 24 gigabytes of VRAM on that thing. Oh, yeah, we can run local LLMs and all this stuff. And then I got on this morning and I was asked, just kind of catching up. And he goes, did you get that graphics card yet? It's like so excited about it. And then after I pulled everything, I swapped the cards out. I tore down the rig and put the graphics card in there this morning, late morning. And then when I cranked it up, he was like so excited. He's like, oh, I can see it. You got a 3090 running full tilt. Well, do all this RAM. He goes, oh, we're going to download some local language models. He's so happy. Yeah. All right. So we got the phone up though, right? Let's go over here. We're going to go over to my Tangem wallet. Come on, baby. All righty. All right. So you can see there we've got $100 worth of Tether. Now, it's interesting. The Tether that I have there is an affiliate payout, and people overseas use Tron because it's like such very low fees. It's negligible. But I don't know why Tangem pays me so much to withdraw my Tether. So I've only got like $9 worth of Tron. It's going to charge me like $3 or $4 just to move this out. That's why I usually wait till I've gathered up a little bit. So, but what we want to do is I can't put Tron-based Tether in Coinbase. Coinbase does not support the Tron network. So what we're going to do is go over here to Kraken, because Kraken supports Tron. You can buy Tron on Kraken, and you can deal with Tron-based stable coins too. All right, so I'm going to touch my YubiKey 5C up here. It has a PIN code, which I like, in case someone steals my YubiKey. They can't use it. All right, and that logs me into my Kraken account. And so I'll just say, hey, I want to deposit some Tether. All right, and then we'll choose Tether here, and then it asks me what network. This is where a lot of people get confused, especially with withdrawals. You have to be really careful with this stuff. If you don't know what the other networks are, please don't use them. I had many people, hey, I went to withdraw this token and it said it was going to cost $5 on the Ethereum network. So I chose a faster, cheaper network. I chose like Plasma or whatever, and they're like, but I never got it. I'm like, yeah, because you don't have a wallet configured for the Plasma network. You, yeah. They figure, well, it's cheaper, so I'll use that network. Well, in this case, it doesn't really matter because the deposit address is going to, well, actually it will matter. The other EVM networks don't matter because they would always use the same deposit address. Whether I used Ethereum or Polygon, it would be the same, right? So the Ethereum address is going to look like that. But if I use Polygon, it's the exact same address, right? So that's why people would get confused and think, oh, it seems like it's going to go to the same place. Well, it's fine if you have your networks configured, but a lot of people don't, right? Well, in this case, I need to make a deposit, but that address is not going to work because it's not a Tron address. It has to be a Tron address. So when you're depositing using Tron, you definitely need to get a Tron address, right? That's the Tron address right there. Now, I've got this QR code, right? So let's just use the QR code. So we'll say we want to send this tether, and we're going to say send, right? We're sending it to Kraken. And then, where's that? Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, I should be sending, right? I want to send, oh yeah, let's send it all. It's $100 worth. And then go to the next one. And now, see this little icon here? You can see I've always sent to that same address, but it's bad practice to reuse old addresses. Even in this one, I know this address, but it could be somehow someone sent a transaction, address poisoned my transaction history. So we always want to get fresh addresses every time we do transfers, right? So I've got a little icon there next to the paste where I can tap, and it'll just open up the camera. We'll allow Tangem access to the camera, and there's the address, right? Now, I've got my phone, and I have my Tangem card here, and then I'll hit next here. And then when I hit, see, it's going to cost $4.12 in Tron. Oh well. We'll hit send, and then I'll bring the card to the back of the phone to authorize the transaction. Tangem cards are really easy to use, and this is one of the original Tangem cards before they even had seed phrase backup options, right? This is back when they were seedless. You can still use them seedless, right? And that's the way I prefer. I've been using this card for years. It just works fine. I have 2 backups. I know where they are. Seed phrases can be more dangerous to some people. A lot of people, they just, I got to have the seed phrase. I don't trust Tangem. Well, okay. A lot of newcomers out there don't know any better, and then they use the seed phrase option either on Tangem or, they have to on Ledger and Trezor and all that. And they get scammed out of their seed phrases because they don't know any better. That video that I did, one of the scenarios was you get a call from somebody and they tell you that your account has been hacked, and they've, they have done their research. They know enough about you to convince you that they're legitimate, and they're very calm and reassuring, and they trick people. They have them click links. They'll say, here, let me send you a quick email. Click this link, log into your account. They steal their credentials. And then if the account doesn't have enough money in there, they'll say, oh, you might want to move all this stuff over to your Ledger. Do you have your Ledger handy? And then they say, yeah, plug it in. And the next thing you know, it's, oh, there's an error message. I need your backup. And the poor soul gives it to them, right? It can't happen with Tangem. They don't. If you don't know your seed phrase, you can't give it up. Anyway, yeah. Where were we? Oh, I think we were. We sent that, right? Did I send it? Yeah. So I have no tether anymore in the wallet, but it cost me $4 of Tron, So now I only have like, well, I should have less Tron, right? Yeah. Whoops. That's weird. Yeah. I should have less Tron. Yeah, there it is. 520. All right. And now we can go over to our Kraken. And we should have some Tron in here. I think our balance went up a little bit. Yeah. So if we go to portfolio, I've got this Tether now, right? It's Tron based. It was Tron based Tether when I deposited it, but now that it's in Kraken, it's Joker's Wild. I can withdraw it on any network now. It doesn't like hold its Tronness at all. Once it hits the exchange just treats it as Tether, right? And I could take this Tether and withdraw it on the Ethereum network or the Polygon network. This is one way to do cross-chain transfers. By letting it hit an exchange, then you can withdraw it to another exchange on a different network or another wallet on a different network. There are bridges, but bridges charge fees too. So I think the easiest way to do cross-chain transfers is simply to drop tokens on an exchange like Coinbase or Kraken. That works. Like if I drop US dollar coin in base format on Coinbase, then I can use it for whatever I need. Now I can also, plus it looks like they're paying me APY just for holding these on their exchange, right? So, wow, they're paying more than this USDG, which used to be their native stablecoin, apparently. But now they're paying 5.27 just for holding US dollar coin. And they'll even pay you in Tether. So now I can convert it if I want. I can convert this Tether to US dollar coin, or I can convert it to dollars, cash. So if I hit max, then that $100 worth of Tether, and I use Kraken Plus, so I get free trading fees. So the spread isn't that much. I'm only going to lose like 8 cents on the spread if I do a convert. If I did a limit order or something like that, I might get a little better deal. But that's it. Someone just asked, do I have an opinion on USDC versus US Tether? Unfortunately, I think Tether is more stable. They've been around a lot longer and universally accepted all over the world. I think most people I don't know what the stats are, but I would assume that Tether is more widely used and accepted worldwide than US dollar coin. However, because I have a Coinbase account and because I'm in the US, US dollar coin is cheaper and faster for me to use on Coinbase. As you can see, I've parked some money in some US dollar coin here. Just temporarily. I probably should just withdraw it back to my wallet. I just haven't had a chance to do that. I prefer to keep things in my wallet. So, but I did some liquidation and to stablecoin, and there's two schools of thought. I could leave this here on the exchange so that if we go down to BTC at 40K, I'm ready to go. I've got my dry powder ready. But by the same token, I could store it in my wallet and have it back on the exchange within minutes if I needed to use it to buy some stuff. So I think my modus operandi would be to just keep it in my wallet. I'll just probably do that later. Well, why don't I show you then? I'll move some of this USDC back over to my wallet. So let's go into Ledger. I probably won't move it back over to my Tangem wallet. I don't usually use my Tangem for long-term stuff. My Tangem wallet is kind of a working wallet. I do have some Bitcoin in my Tangem ring. It's not a huge amount of Bitcoin, but I like to keep it in there. Just like it's like, you know how when you're hard up for a pizza or whatever, and you're trying to scrape up enough money for a pizza, and you just paid all your bills, and you search your couch cushion for loose change. That's kind of how I like to leave Bitcoin laying around in different places, right? So I always know, like, okay, yeah, but I know I've got a little bit of Bitcoin over here on my Tangem ring. So that's kind of a fun thing that I like to do. I think I have some over in this Ballet wallet too. Yeah, just a little bit of Bitcoin here and there. It's always good to just have it so that it's not easily liquidated, right? You just, I got some laying around. Oh, am I muted or something? Oh, sorry. This was from earlier. I thought maybe Dan was telling me the mic was muted or something. I think we're done with the phone for now, right? So let's say, okay, now I've decided, okay, I've got some stable coin over here on Kraken. Why don't I put it in my wallet, right? Because Kraken could go down. Kraken could go bankrupt. Your coins are not totally secure on exchanges. There's someone, it's like a bank account. And we all think of bank accounts as, I got money in the bank. I can always get it when I go ask them. Yeah, sure, you can right now. But suppose the, gas gets up to $10 a gallon and people start freaking out and everybody goes to the bank to withdraw all their money. They're going to close the bank and say, sorry, bank holiday. Oh, that happened back in the Depression. Bank holiday. Bank holiday makes it sound good, right? That's a holiday. It basically means we're not giving you any of your money. So banks, when they get your money, they use it. It's their money. They do whatever they want with it. The only thing the bank has is kind of a legal commitment to give you the money when you ask for it. But if everybody goes and asks for it at the same time, it's not going to work. And there's not enough money in the FDIC to float the entire economy, as what people think. But anyway, so I could take this stable coin and put it in my own wallet, just in case Kraken goes down or whatever. We're just going to move some of it, though. I'm not going to move a huge amount right now. Let's just say, let's take some. Let's just take, and I'm going to do it on the Ethereum network. I could do it on one of these others, but I won't. They don't support, they do support Base. Look at that. Let's do it on the Base network. It's cheaper. Let's go over here. Now, I need to go into my accounts and get a Base, one of my Base accounts. I think I have one. Yeah, I think this is the one. Let's see what the address is here real quick. Okay, yeah, I'll be fine with that. I don't know if I have any other Base accounts that are on my stacks. Do I have a Base stacks? Yeah, there's one. Okay, let's look at this. So as you can see, I have, we'll use this address. I've got several devices configured in my Ledger Live. I've got a stacks and a flex, but I've got a couple others too. But let's put the stablecoin in my wallet in Base format. All right, so I have a Base account here set up in Ledger Live. Let's go back, paste in that address. Oh, actually, I think I may already have this address in there. Oh, I guess I don't. Interesting. Oh, because I chose Base network. Yeah, I don't think I've ever withdrawn on the Base network before. That's fine. We'll call this one Ledger Stacks Base. Good enough for me. All right, and then I'm going to need to, oh, didn't ask me to confirm that. Huh. Maybe it was already in there. I don't know. Anyhow, because I'm not sure, I'm just going to do a small one, right? I'm not going to risk $100. I'll just do 5. Because I was kind of strange that it didn't ask me to confirm that address that I just added. All right, and because the base network is fast, then we should see some US dollar coin shortly, right? So there it is. We'll hit sync, and we should see it here shortly. I mean, it may be a couple minutes. As you can see, I used to trade meme coins on base, and they didn't get me anywhere. Let's just do that. Yeah. So we should see some... should see $5 worth of US dollar coin come in here shortly, unless I did that wrong. And if I did it wrong, I only lost $5, right? That's what's nice about test transfers. Let me stress that one. It's just common sense. When you're dealing with crypto on different networks and you're not, totally sure how everything's going to go, then yeah, see, there it is. It came in, received $5. Hasn't quite hit the balance yet, apparently, because it's not totally confirmed. But that is the correct address now. So let's go ahead and send some more. Let's do that again on base. And since there's only one in there, then it's fine, right? Now we're confident that it's going to go into the right wallet, right? They're gonna charge me $2 for $100. Ouch. Yeah, I think, see, Coinbase is a lot cheaper than Kraken for US dollar coin. So let's use Coinbase for this. So we've got this again, right? I don't need my device. I know this is correct. Let's see, now the 5 is showing up here. Let's go to Coinbase. All right, so we've got some stable coin here. We want to send crypto. We'll paste in that address. We don't have to whitelist addresses in Coinbase. We can, but we don't have to. All right. And we're going to take it out of our US dollar coin. And we're going to use the base network. See, it's totally free because Coinbase is closely associated with Circle. I used to think Circle owned Coinbase. I don't think they do proper. The same company owns both Coinbase and Circle, whatever it is. But you can, US dollar coin is practically free, and base is definitely free. So let's do another little test just to make sure. Let's hit preview. All right, and it's going to be totally free, no network fee. Right. Boom, done. Let's go back over here, and then we'll just kind of wait for some more to come in. Yeah, it didn't actually take it very long to totally confirm, did it? Not long at all. Let's see. Lourdes says, is one stablecoin better than the next? Then there are so many offered on exchanges. Yeah, I kind of... They're all pretty much... They pretty much do the same thing. The only thing you might want to think about is how universal is it? How accepted is it in other places? So that's where sticking with US dollar coin or Tether is probably a good idea, because if it's some sort of crazy, you have a centralized exchange that says, oh, we got this great stable coin and we'll pay you 10% if you store it in our exchange. That might be a good deal on that exchange, but that coin, whatever it is that they call it, their stable coin, may not be very universal and might not be accepted if you try to put it or try to spend it somewhere online, or if you try to liquidate it on a different exchange, it may not as be acceptable. So I know this sounds somewhat callous, but you might want to stick with the acceptable ones, the top ones like Tether or US dollar. And I think I talked earlier about the differences between Tether and US dollar. Tether, if on Coinbase, you can deposit Tether on Coinbase, but they only support it on the Ethereum network. So you pay high fees when you deal with Tether. That's because they want you to use their US dollar coin. So US dollar coin on Coinbase is free, basically. You can deposit it, withdraw it, pretty much free. What were we gonna? Let's see. Let's say we send it. Let's send it to that same address, but on a different network, right? So if we see, they're gonna charge us $12 or 12 cents on the Ethereum network, right? So they are charging me to withdraw it on the Ethereum network. So let's just do 5 on the Ethereum network. And I want to show you where it goes, right? So, and it's going to take 29 minutes. Ouch. And 12 cents. I don't know. I think that's an estimate, right? It's thought that it was a little faster than that. But if we go back over to the wallet, the reason I use the same address, right? I use this base address because this base address is the same for the Ethereum stacks. So if we go here to Ethereum stacks and we hit receive via crypto, you see it's the exact same address, right? So they're on EVM network. It's a different network, same address format, right? It's an EVM address, Ethereum virtual machine. So we should be receiving, I meant to do this. We should be receiving that $5 pretty soon as US dollar coin, right? See, it's 0 now. But this is the US. Well, it may not be for half an hour yet. Who knows? But it's sent. So that's the difference between the networks. Oh, there, it came in, right? I don't know why they said it was going to be 30 minutes. That was kind of weird. But it's basically the same address, but because we're managing different networks in Ledger Wallet, they show up in different wallets, right? So this is inside the Ethereum wallet. And, you can see the tokens down here. There's that $5 coin. And then if we go back to accounts, and go back down here to the base stacks, right? And then show tokens. We've got that $10, and because we sent 5 from Coinbase and we sent 5 from do we send 5 from Kraken? I think we did. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention when we sent the 5 from Kraken. They probably charged us quite a bit for that too. Now let's say, okay, well, how much did they charge me? I don't know. Let's go. I think you can find it here in activity. Did they charged me? They charged me $2 when I took the 5 out. Oh my God, I wasn't even paying attention. Yes. Ouch. They charged me $2 to withdraw $5 worth of US dollar coin. I wasn't paying attention, was I? That's what I get. Yeah. So, but if you withdraw on the Ethereum network, and this was on the base network that they charged me this. Ouch. So I can withdraw my US dollar coin from um, Coinbase for basically free, literally free. And Kraken charged me $2. So you kind of have to keep an eye on what exchanges are doing. You have to be a little more careful than I was. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Okay, so I haven't. Trevor 7, best wallet on the market, CryptoDad. Trezor, it's a very good question. It is the, let's just use my, Trezor Safe 7 is by far and away the best Trezor wallet ever, obviously. Whether or not you think it's the best wallet ever is kind of a personal thing. It's a great interface. It's got a beautiful color touchscreen. It's got a secure element chip. It's got the Tropic 01 secure element chip. It's got a lot of great security features with a commitment to transparency and auditability. But Trezor doesn't really support enough coins for me to be given that overall award, right? For me, the Ledger devices are much more powerful, flexible, and versatile when it comes to coin support. I mean, there, I said it. But if coin support is not a huge deal for you, if you're just holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe ERC20 tokens, I think you can use Base Network on Trezor Safe. Well, you definitely can if you connect it to MetaMask or Ravi, but and I believe they support XRP too. So if you're not looking for all the latest exotic coins like SUI and whatever else is out there, all the newer coins always do Ledger support first. It's just the same as the virus writers out there and the software writers out there generally are going to focus on the Windows platform because it's 90% of the market. So blockchain developers tend to build in Ledger support first because it's like 40% of the hardware wallet market, maybe higher. So, and they have great dev tools. So that's why my vote kind of goes to the Ledger platform when it comes to coin support. But if coin support is not that important to you, if you're just hodling Bitcoin, then it's a toss-up, really. If we're just talking about holding Bitcoin, then the Trezor Safe 7 or the Ledger Flex are on equal terms. They cost the same. I don't know. Now, Ledger will tell you that this is not secure screen technology. They use a microprocessor. They have a secure element chip, but they basically use that secure element chip to store the private key and the PIN codes. They just, the microprocessor and the Trezor just kind of queries that stable or a secure element chip, every now and then. But the ledgers run the entire OS inside their secure element chip. And the secure element chip runs the display too. So that's Ledger's claim to fame, is the secure screen technology. Whereas Trezor, OneKey, Descent, whatever other wallet you can think about, they generally only use the secure element chip for a small smidgen of what they do, whereas their firmware runs on the microprocessors that are not secure element chips. Let's see here. I want to get caught up on the stream. I hope I answered everyone's question. Tether's got great coverage, and they have XAU tokenized gold too. Tether is generally better capitalized. I totally agree with you there, Docport. U.S. Tether is banned in Europe. That's another drawback to Tether. It gets a lot of bashing and regulatory discrimination, right, from the EU. Which that's really just the EU being the EU, you know. Tether really shouldn't be banned anywhere, you know. Big diff from $29 to $26 was BK Gold, paper, fiat, and banks. They ran out. Took days, week to get more physical. Now kind of same with physical, but they just click a mouse, Fed wire transfers. That is true. Rex, I am keen in developing a lightweight desktop app for you to use in your stream. How should I contact you? Docport, just send me an email. My email's in the description down here at the bottom. Shoot me an email at thecryptodad@gmail. I'd love to hear from you. There's several other people, regulars, that have contacted me through email. Paul, HR by Catherine. I can't think of it. Everyone. A lot of you have shot me emails, and I'm more than happy to respond to you. Dan, of course, knows me. Gregory Wieland, I believe, has Ed Poston has sent me emails. Alina's dad has sent me emails. You guys are more than welcome to shoot me emails. I am more than happy. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. A desktop app to use during the live stream to maybe improve what I'm doing. That might be very helpful. I'm looking at ways of improving what I'm doing. Oh yeah, Dan just dropped my email there. That's why we need the laws in the traditional exchanges to get into the game to lower the fees. Yes. Yes, good sentiment. PaxG is also there in EVMs. Very good. Drew, thank you. If you were limited to one premium hardware device, which would you use? I would use my Ledger Stacks. Actually, some people, I have a Stacks and a Flex. I use both of them. I've heard people say that the Flex screen is more responsive. They might be right, but the Stack screen is bigger. And for me, that makes a difference when I'm entering my PIN or I'm doing a restore. Now, a lot of people don't really evaluate a device on how easy it is to back up and restore because they don't do it very often. But I've always resetting devices, reconfiguring, setting them up as new, restoring them, doing setup videos, doing restore videos. So the interface when you're doing those sort of things matters to me. And the Stacks, to me, has the best easily readable, easily tapped display. That's why it's that's why it's $400. But yeah, I mean, if you ask me what's my favorite premium device, if I could only choose one, it'd be the Stacks or the Flex. It'd be one of those two. I'm starting crypto trading in 2025 mid. Now I went to pay tax on crypto. Can you suggest me any CPS? I've got a video where a pretty recent video where I'm talking about this video actually has links to all the tax services I recommend. But where'd that video go? Yeah, this one. Yeah, I'll just paste this one in. It's where I'm talking about taxes specifically, but I also recommend several crypto tax services. You might want to check those out. Yeah. Dan the Man Wester, thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to wrap it up. It's after 7. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. I really appreciate you guys being here with me as always. Thank you, Kenny, for being here. And for the news, as always, Roland, it was great having you here. All the regulars, it's always wonderful to have you here with me, and I always appreciate you being here. And thank you, anyone that asked questions. I hope I answered your questions. If I did not, we were talking about my email. please shoot me an email. I'll respond to you, answer your questions, and help you out, especially if I missed anything that you were doing tonight, if I missed any of your questions. So keep the faith and hang in there. Long term, Bitcoin is long term holding is just kind of makes the dips nothing to worry about really long term, right? Because when you look at 2017 to today, a long term hold is good. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign out, guys. It was good having everybody here tonight. We'll do this again 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw up questions, and I'll do my best to get them questioned. I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click. That would allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you all again soon. Good night, everybody, and hope you have a great week. And check out my channel for new videos, too. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I'm going to